Hi, my name is Jessie Adams. I've been a hairstylist in Costa Mesa, California for about 10 years now. Come with me to the salon as I transform my client from this to a beautifully blended out balayage utilizing highlights, lowlights, a root smudge, and a gloss. So our goal for this appointment is just to make her grow out way more seamless. You can see her roots are solid dark and her mids and ends are pretty much solid brassy blonde. So I'm approaching this by utilizing a partial highlight technique. I'm still keeping it super blonde around the face. We're still going to give her that money piece, but then throughout the head, I'm basically doing 2 highlights to 1 low light. This is going to simultaneously break up her solid root area at the same time as breaking up her ends with the low light. And for her low light, I'm bringing the low light color all the way to her ends. For her low light, I mixed up 6WG, 6NB, and a splash of 5G. And you have to go in really warm because all of the underlying pigments have been stripped out of her super blonde ends. You're gonna have to fill them as you're low lighting so that they don't turn out mucky or green from too much of a neutral tone. For the lowlights that are around her face and towards the front, I'm actually not pulling the lowlight all the way through to her ends. I'm kind of just dragging them down through that line of demarcation to make everything super blendy. But I actually want to keep the ends of the hair around her face more solid blonde, which is why I'm not pulling through all the way to the ends. My client also wears a side part, which is something to keep in mind when you are highlighting, because if you highlight down the middle on a client that wears their hair to the side, once they push their hair where they normally wear it, all those highlights are going to disappear. So it's super important during your consultation to clarify where your client wears their hair, because they do not always come into the salon with their hair parted how they normally wear it. Here is what my client looked like when I was finished applying all of her highlights. So once she was all done processing, I went ahead and mixed up her root smudge to kind of blend out those highlights that we just added at her root area. And I mixed up a 4N Redken Shades EQ for that. Here we are applying her root smudge. I like to start from the bottom of the back section and work up towards her face just to make sure everything stays clean. I also constantly brush it with a wet brush just to make sure everything stays blended. For her all over gloss, I really wanted to cancel out some of that warmth that she had in her blonde, so I mixed up 913, 901, and a little bit of 931 in Dia Light. We let that process for about 10 minutes and then we got her all rinsed and styled, and here is the final look. We were so excited about how this turned out. It was so much more blended and is going to grow out so much nicer for her. I hope you learned something today. Thank you so much for watching, and feel free to like and subscribe for more salon education content. Thank you.